Oh, what are you doing down there, mate? What are you up to? You coming up with me? Come up, pop up. Hop, hop, the pops, pops, hop, hop. What are you doing? What are you diddling at, you monkey? What are you diddling at, you monkey? So, hello. Today I'd like to take a look at this book, which is, well, the Chilterns, which are a set of hills that were pretty close to where I was raised as a kid, you know. And this is a very good book, I must say, by Leslie Heppel and Alison Doggett. Sorry, that's very close to the word dogging. So yeah. My sick mind, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, I always think of things like that. So there you go. I bought that from Better World Books for the princely sum of probably a penny or something like that. Knowing me, I'm as tight as a camel's bottom in a sandstorm. But there you go. This is the Chilterns, introducing the Chiltern Hills. I actually love them. Well, I miss them. I miss them a lot. Obviously, it's a reference book. Ironically, from Slough, where my mum was actually born in Slough. And on one of the trading estates, you know, no, I'm joking. She was born there at home in Warrington Avenue, a place called Warrington Avenue. Oh, by the way, I hope this video doesn't get taken off YouTube by them because it's bullying and harassing. Like my dad's passport video was bullying and harassing people. Apparently, I don't know how passports can bully and harass someone, but they obviously can. But maybe they flap, you know, it's sort of flapping in it, it's flapping in your face sort of thing, and harassing and bullying you. God. YouTube, hello, cuckoo. Anyway, there's the bits you need if you want to grab yourself a copy. And there's some lovely. I'll skip forward a bit to the illustrations in it, because we need the illustrations. What have we got? Oh, so there you go. So you've got these sort of wide open spaces. I remember as a kid, we used to go up onto the Chilterns in a car if one of us was driving, and then effectively stare at the lights. There were lights flickering at night, you know. Obviously we enhanced ourselves with a little bit of naughty cigarettes, but I never inhaled. But there's an old map of the Saxton's map of the Chilterns, in actual fact, and from 1574, which I think is interesting. You had a lot of drovers. This is Whipsnade. So the Whipsnade has a zoo there, which is very famous, which it says there, if you can read it, which has all sorts of creatures in there: elephants, tigers, lions and bears, you know. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. But they're all in there, and it's a beautiful place. The Ivinghoe Beacon is the highest point in the Chilterns, and it's lovely walking. It's beautiful. Loads of butterflies, loads of wildflowers. If you're interested, sort of thing, in that kind of stuff, you know. So there's a woodland path. These used to be drovers' paths, and often a drover was someone who used to herd animals from one place to another, often for profit, you know. And there you go. It's a chalk escarpment, and that's Dunstable. And you've got a group of Bronze Age barrows that you can see in the foreground there. A barrow, I believe, was a burial mount or something. Although, forgive me if I'm wrong, because I don't know everything. Obviously, in fact, I don't know anything. I'm an idiot. What the hell? The hell am I doing here? But no, it's pretty beautiful in the Chilterns. You know, you've got the hollows and stuff. Well, they say there could be flint mines, but sometimes there were bombs, in actual fact, as well. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with the authors, obviously, but sometimes bombs were dropped during the Second World War. If due to the blackout, if the German airplanes couldn't see where their targets were, they obviously didn't want to fly home with a load of bombs on board, so they used to just disperse them, just drop them off, you know. And a lot of the holes in point at it, a lot of the holes in the Chilterns are actually caused by bombs, because they were just outside London, where the Luftwaffe would have just what's the word, disposed of it, you know, sort of thing. What are you doing though down there? It's chewing something, isn't it? I hope it's not my shoe. It's got its face full of something, it has, isn't it? But they're lovely. The hedgerows are beautiful, black blackthorn. You get all sorts of sloe hedges, you know, as I used to call them, because we used to make sloe gin from them. Sloe is like a bitter kind of plum. It's very small, probably a lot the size of Putin's plums. Yeah. Ooh, a subtle dig there. Yeah. But the Romans were there, as it says there, the Roman Chilterns. And it's a beautiful place. I used to go out there a lot, and these are Verulamium in St Albans. These Roman walls, brick and flint sort of walls, with concrete. I mean, it's a funny thing because concrete was actually invented by the Romans. Not a lot of people know that, but concrete was actually then forgotten. They forgot about it, and then it was reinvented. What are you doing though? You're choking on it now. Be careful. So there's the site of the Roman theatre at Verulamium, and there are some lovely mosaics, and there's a Holocaust as well. But no, what am I talking about? A Holocaust? A hypercaust, I'm sorry. A Holocaust was something completely different. The hypercaust was like an underfloor heating system. And there you find the dolphin mosaic. So it's very, 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 very interesting. So let's whiz on a bit, shall we? The Roman roads and villas, obviously the A1, and well, it was from St Albans. Verulamium as the Germans. God, talk about as the Roman people called it Verulamium, now called St Albans in Hertfordshire. The roads were very straight. What the Romans used to do is they used to burn fires, and they used to make a sort of line of three, and then they would know where to plough the road, sort of thing. Very clever people, actually, the Romans. What did the Romans ever give to us? Well, the Hypercaust, the aqueduct. See Monty Python's Life of Brian. But there's some very, very interesting bits. So what I'll do is I'll swinge forward a bit. I'll go find something else in it, if I can. There's probably not that many pictures in there after all. More fields, an air photograph of Monk's Risborough, it says there. Monk's Risborough, very interesting place. Been there a few times. And well, Hertfordshire's very pretty. I can highly recommend the place if you want to visit. It's certainly not a bad deal. That's a fact. What's there then? Shardlows in Amersham. Okay, yeah. Built for William Drake for Amersham. I believe that Shardlows now is a health spa or something like that, in actual fact. And there's the West Wickham Park. West Wickham is interesting because they had the Hellfire Club, which was a sort of a perverted group of sex deviants that used to go down into caves and do sorts of naughty things, didn't it? And actually, this house, this actual house, Wickham Park, was used in a film by my favourite actor Clint Eastwood, in White Hunter Black Heart. He used it as a set. Well, it was a set; it's a real thing. And I've walked around this lake with my family many times in West Wickham, and my ex-wife as well. Should have pushed her in the lake, actually, thinking about it now. But I'm joking. I don't do things like that. Oh, you're sat next to me now, is it? That's all good, isn't it, mate? Everyone wants to see the Wobbus. They do. I called Jimmy the Wobbus because Wobbus means mischief. It does, and it nearly choked on its treats just then, didn't it? It was coughing up its treats. It was, which it seems to have eaten. Anyway, more interesting maps and bits and bobs. And West Wickham, there you go. St Francis Dashwood, that was him, the pervert. He was. It's now owned by the National Trust, but he was highly perverted apparently, and he used to. They all got naked and went down these caves and chanted all sorts of horrible things to the devil, and probably in the name of having a good time, innit? Having a good time with your nads out, sort of thing. But seriously though, bluebells in spring is one of the most beautiful things about Ashridge Park. That's absolutely beautiful. My father used to work, the passport guy that was bullying and harassing everyone. he used to work at Ashridge Management College as a trainer, as a management trainer. Well, and that and around the world. Obviously, that's why he had the passports that used to bully and harass people. But there's some lovely places, and obviously that's typical architecture of Hertfordshire. And well, old trees, hornbeams. I mean, some of the Ashridge Forest is ancient, and I used to go up there with my mum years and years and years ago. In fact, years and years and years and years and years ago now. And there you go. In fact, that's funny because Amersham is actually in Buckinghamshire, so I don't know why they've introduced that into the Hertfordshire book, but that's the old trading post that they had there. Ironically, when my dad died, we had the wake in there, in one of these pubs. And one of these pubs here, I think this one, was the setting for 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Do you remember that lovely film with Hugh Grant and I can never remember her name, but I really want to marry her. The American actress. Anyway, it's not going to come back because my brain's gone done and gone now. It ain't saying yet. God damn it! It never even said goodbye. But so there you go. Cherry orchards at Checkenden. Cherry pie, American cherry pie. It's actually stolen. They stole it from us, didn't they? Because in the Chilterns they used to have cherry orchards. And who was it again? The Mayflower. Who was on the Mayflower? William Tell. No, that was the apple guy. But there was a bloke on the Mayflower that went to America. Somebody, Penn of Pennsylvania or someone like that. Anyway, a whole group of people went to America to live there, I suppose. And the persecution of religion, I guess, was the motivation. But basically, what they did is they took cherries with them and planted the seeds, and the next thing you know, you got all these lovely cherry trees growing, and then cherry pie became American favourites. Ooh, superb. Anyway, yeah, the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds were very, very affluent bankers, and they had vineyards and things like that. They were very, very philanthropic as well, though. So although they were immensely rich, in actual fact, a lot of the area and Buckinghamshire, Hertfordshire, Buckinghamshire, was nicknamed Rothschildshire because they had so many affluent mansions and things like that there. But they were good people, don't get me wrong. They were very good people. Oh, there's Metroland there. Look, that's my favourite, isn't it? Because that's where I was from, Metroland. I'm a man of Metroland. I really am. Yeah, look. Good spot, the Chilterns. London Transport advert for them. There you go, and that's one of the Pullman cars on the old Metropolitan line train. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's on Amersham Hill. Ironically, this structure was built in the 1920s, I believe, and it used to be used. It had a very strange arrow roof. It was like in a sort of arrow shape, and it was used by the Luftwaffe in World War II to guide them into London. Can you believe this? It's true. I wouldn't lie to you, mate, innit? It's all true stuff. I tell all the things on here I tell are true stories. They are. But there you go. Housing estates. This is rocking on a bit now. But oh, lovely Metroland. Do you know, I was looking for some of these magazines, originals. They're about 150 quid each. I thought, whoa. Really? Oh my God. But in the old days they used to hand them out. Can you believe it? If you had a collection of them, you'd be laughing at the moment. And they're sort of typical. Oh, Bix Bottom. Yes, well, don't bend down when Bix is around. No, I'm joking. But the fact is that church is as haunted as is. And some of the properties that are around the place are really ghoulish, you know. And I think that the old kind of Hellfire Club type people still like to hang about in them, you know, the modern day version. Sheep on the Ice, there you go, look at that, sheep on the ice, that's very familiar. Oh, what's that though? Coombe Hill, Wendover, that's it, that's it. That's the Coombe Hill Monument. I can't remember who it's to now. Some old Duke of something or other, the Grand Old Duke of York, you know, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and then they fell down again, sort of whatever the rhyme goes. That looks like Stonor House. It is. Anyway, I hope you found this of some interest. It's just part and parcel of my crazy world that I used to know, and that's just the bits and bobs that tell you all about it. Fields again. Loads of fields in it. It was like the old joke about the bloke that fell out of an aeroplane and unfortunately he didn't have a parachute. You know, fortunately he fell quite gracefully into a haystack. No, what was it? A man fell out of an aeroplane. A man fell out of an aeroplane. Fortunately, he had a parachute. Unfortunately, the parachute didn't work. Fortunately, there was a haystack below him. Unfortunately, there was a pitchfork in the haystack. Fortunately, he missed the pitchfork. Unfortunately, he missed the haystack. Boom, boom.